to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. The prayer will be offered today by the delegate from Prince George's County.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Please, dear colleagues, Madam Speaker, please, colleagues, let's bow our heads. James 1:19-21 says, "Dear brothers and sisters, take note of this. Everyone should be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to become angry, because the human anger does not produce the righteousness that God desires. Therefore, get rid of all moral filth and the evil that is so prevalent, and humbly accept the word planted in you, which can save you." And Proverbs 15:1-3 says, "A gentle answer turns away wrath, but a harsh word stirs up anger. The tongue of the wise adorns knowledge, but the mouth of the fool gushes folly." The eyes of the Lord are everywhere, keeping watch over the wicked and the good. A fool spurns a parent's discipline, but whoever heeds correction shows prudence. So, brothers and sisters, let's do what James 1:22 asks us of us. Do not merely listen to the word and so deceive yourselves. Do what it says. Amen.
Amen. Quorum call.
Madam Speaker.
Okay. Has everyone recorded their presence? If so, the clerk will take the call. There being 130 members present, the House is now in session. The clerk will read the journal from the previous day.
Annapolis, Maryland, February the 3rd, 2026.
Recognizing the Deputy Majority Leader.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. So much be considered the reading of the journal.
So order petitions, memorials, and other papers. All right, good morning, everyone. So we're doing the consent calendar of introductory House Bill number 28. The clerk will read the first bill.
House Bill 744, Dorchester County Delegation, Appropriations.
Recognizing the Majority Leader.
Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Good morning.
So much be considered the reading of House Bills 744 through 789.
Hearing no objection, the bills are read the first time and referred to the appropriate committees. Consent calendar of introductory House Bill number 29. The clerk will read the first bill.
House Bill 790, Delegate Arlong, Ways and Means.
Recognizing the Majority Leader.
Thank you, Madam Speaker.
You're welcome.
So much be considered the reading of House Bills 790 through 829.
Hearing no objection, the bills are read the first time and referred to the appropriate committees. Consent calendar of introductory House Bill number 30. The clerk will read the first bill.
House Bill 830, Delegate Arlong, Government, Labor, and Elections.
Recognizing the Majority Leader.
Thank you, Madam Speaker.
You're welcome.
So much be considered the reading of House Bills 830 through 869.
Hearing no objection, the bills are read the first time and referred to the appropriate committees. Consent calendar of introductory House Bill number 31. The clerk will read the first bill.
House Bill 870, Delegate Corman, Environment and Transportation.
Recognizing the Majority Leader.
Thank you, Madam Speaker.
You're welcome.
So much be considered the reading of House Bills 870 through 899.
Hearing no objection, the bills are read the first time and referred to the appropriate committees. The clerk will read the bond initiatives and the committee assignment.
Introductory House Bond Initiatives number 16, February 4th, 2026. Refer to Appropriations.
Message from the Senate. Senate bills introduced in the House. The clerk will read the bills and committee assignments.
Senate Bill 1, Senator Augustine, Judiciary. Senate Bill 17, Senator Hayes, Government, Labor, and Elections. Senate Bill 245, Senator Smith, Judiciary. By order, Sylvia Seeger, Chief Clerk.
Special order calendar. House Bill 1. The clerk will read the bill.
Household 1, investor-owned electric, gas, and electric companies, cost recovery, limitations. Fair report is amended, adopted.
Recognizing the maker of the motion, the delegate from Anne Arundel County. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
You're welcome.
I have an amendment at the desk. Amendment number 543121.
Amendment number 1.
Move so much to be considered the reading of the amendment.
So order.
This amendment is pretty simple. It gives us a little bit of an off-ramp when we're talking about these bonuses and contracts for workers. It allows the utilities to go to the PSC, who obviously yields quite a bit of power now. They're supposed to be the watchdog. And this will give our utilities the opportunity to go in front of the PSC and say, listen, we need to go beyond what our limitations are for pay or for bonuses so that we can ensure that we can pay the appropriate amount to these vital workers. And it gives them that opportunity maybe just to make that appeal to the PSC to say, this is the reason why we have to pay them more. And the watchdog then can say, okay, it makes sense. We don't want to lose good talent. The grid reliability, our power is the most vital thing to life. That's why so many people's emails and phones are ringing off the hook right now. People are scared. There's warning after warning about the grid reliability. This just ensures that we have an off-ramp to be able to pay people that are vital to making sure that electricity stays on, or that we have grid reliability, or that they can answer the call in an emergency. That's as simple as it is. This is just good governance. With that, I ask you to vote yay on this amendment.
Madam
Recognizing the floor leader.
Thank you, Madam Speaker.
You're
Good morning.
welcome. Good morning.
I would ask the body to resist this amendment for the following reasons. The objective of this bill is to help to protect ratepayers. That's the whole reason for this bill, is that the utilities are making lots and lots and lots of money. And when we look at what's going on with our ratepayers, we're all getting the phone calls, we're all getting the emails, we're all getting the text messages, and yes, some of us are getting faxes, essentially saying, my bill has doubled and tripled in the last couple of years. What is going on here? So the point of this bill is to ensure that we are paying a reasonable amount of money to those folks that are running these that are running these utilities. And $250,000 is a very reasonable amount of money. That's $250,000. That's 10% more than the chair of the Public Service Commission makes. So with that said, we are not by any means saying that the utilities can't pay more than that very generous $250,000. What we're saying is that if they are going to pay more than $250,000, the ratepayer shouldn't pay for it. The ratepayer is already paying for it. The ratepayer is paying for it in a very, very harmful way to ratepayers. I'm getting calls from constituents that are trying to make decisions about what to run electrically and what not to run electrically, whether that's heat or in the summer air conditioning or whatever it may be, or just their refrigerators and freezers because the costs have gotten so bad. So to vote for this amendment would undermine the entire underpinnings of this bill. And I want to remind everyone that the head of these utilities and the heads of Exelon, above that $250,000 threshold, it doesn't stop them from making a lot more money. And last year, these folks were making millions, to the point the head of Exelon last year made $14.2 million. I want to say that again. The head of Exelon last year made $14.2 million. And the other executives below him, they're in the $3 and the $4 and the $5 and the $6 million range. So I find it reprehensible to discuss or give them the opportunity to make even more money than they're already making. This is completely up to the shareholder. I would ask the body, please resist this amendment. We are acting in the best interest of the ratepayer to try to get control over spiraling utility costs. Thank you.
Recognizing the maker of the motion.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. And we
You're
agree
welcome.
on that we're all trying to protect the ratepayer. But to just point out the CEO, I mean, that's not really who we're talking about in this amendment. We're talking about everybody that falls underneath the umbrella of this bill. And can the floor leader stand and ask a couple, or answer a couple questions? Floor leader. Floor leader. Floor leader.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Good morning. So I asked you yesterday how much we thought this would save the ratepayer if we implemented this, and you said you weren't really sure. Did you
Because
do any more?
because the bill's amended, right? So
Without the amendment, because it's amended? Because
well,
I did
yeah,
ask.
it's a hard target, but go ahead.
I did ask several different resources, and they all said it's going to be less than $1. Some people said about 50 cents per month for a ratepayer. Is that in line with anything you had gotten?
I mean, there's a lot of estimates as to what it would be. I will tell you that BG&E put that they thought it would be about $1.70 per person, but that's an estimate from their point, and again, that can come out to $20 or $40 a year when you multiply that out. So that's, for some people, that is very, very substantial. And I'm not here to judge what is affordable and what isn't affordable for some people.
Well, it's all very unaffordable at this point. But you had said utilities make a lot of money, and I agree. And utilities make money in a couple different ways, correct? One is through new transmissions, infrastructure. They're guaranteed a rate of margin, which is a nice business model. But would you concede to me that we need a lot of that because we've shut down so much power in this state?
No, I would not say that. I think this is a very, very complicated issue that has to do in part with utilities, that has to do with capacity markets, which has to do with speculation in the industry when it comes to data centers, which has to do with the PJM and their long data and their long queue. This is very, very complicated. I think it's an oversimplification to say it's one thing or the next. We need a lot of different things in order to deal with the situation. It didn't happen overnight. It's not going to get cured overnight. But this bill is, you know, this bill is one of the first bills that really kind of in this session that goes after that specific issue.
Yeah, I agree. It's very complex.
It is very complex.
I have a pretty good grasp on it now after a few years. I'm sure that your intellect on it is probably far greater than I'm sitting on ECM the last few years. But utilities don't make money on the supply, correct? They do make it on the infrastructure. And I have one other question for you is, because we're talking about bills, and look, I'm looking at every angle just like you are. The Empower fee that's on our bills, how much money do we owe the utilities for Empower at this point?
I don't know off the top of my head, but that's not in this bill. That's not part of this bill.
Well, it's part of the utilities making money. You said they're making an enormous amount of money.
That's true, but you know, we're not talking about that. We're just talking about, you know.
Well, the meat of it is the utilities are making too much money is the reason for HB1, correct? And to try to lower it. So
well, it's not just that they're making a lot of money, but it's that the ratepayers are paying a lot of money.
And that's right. And that's why I asked you the question, is the ratepayers will continue to pay for Empower. It's my understanding we owe them anywhere between $900 million to $1 billion right now that's on the backs of the ratepayers at a 9% interest rate. Is that correct?
That sounds like it could be correct. I don't have that information in front of me. But again, that's not relevant to this bill. I want to stay on the bill.
I'm on the bill. The bill is about
lowering rates. Well, the bill doesn't have so much to do with Empower, so.
Well, that's all on the utility bill. We're talking about utility bills. This is one of the most important things we're going to talk about all the next 70 days, whatever it is. Because we all have people calling us, and I'm doing my part. I know you're doing your part. I just want everybody to fully understand. We're paying 9% on $900 million to all the utilities who fronted this money, and we're putting it on the back of the ratepayers at this point. So I'm trying to find ways to save some money for the ratepayers, to lower their rates. And I asked about infrastructure because Brandon Shores is in my district. They're now under an RMR, but the reason we have to run new power lines or extension cords from Peach Bottom all the way down to Brandon Shores is because we're shutting down power plants. And guess who pays for that? It's paid on the utility bill. So when I see bills like this where we're knocking down $1, I'm like, are we really serious?
So a couple things. I don't know that it's fair to say it's knocking it down $1. That's number one. Number two is there is a lot of energy bills coming this session. Delegate, a lot of energy bills come in this session to address these issues as best as we can. So I would say you might want to keep your powder dry because there are so many other bills that are coming that are going to address this. This is just one. And, you know, there's an old Chinese proverb because something like the that goes the first step is in a 10,000 mile journey begins with the first step. Like, this is the first part of this, right? And if you want to go 10,000 miles, which is what we have to do, you got to take a first step. That's what this is. But there are going to be a lot of other bills that you may opine on as much as you like, and later on in this session, I'm trying to keep it to this particular subject matter. And unfortunately, in my opinion, I'm going to ask the body to resist it because it doesn't directly address, it actually tries to undo what we're directly addressing in this particular bill. And again, there's going to be other bills, Delegate.
Yeah, I just think that maybe we should trust the PSC. And there's another old Chinese proverb that says, it's best to fish in muddy waters. I'm just trying to clear the waters here. I want people to fully understand what we're looking at. And I think that this just gives more flexibility to the PSC. I think we trust the PSC.
Again, the PSC, the Public Service Commission does review does review these rates. All we're saying from a policy perspective is we're putting a cap on what the ratepayer has to pay. They can pay these guys, you know, $700,000, $1 million, $14 million if they want to, but it has to come from the stockholders. And the stockholders are the ones that are making all the money. So again, I would ask the body to resist this amendment because the ratepayer should not have to pay for the additional, you know, 10 or 11 or $12 million in profits for companies that has tripled. BG&E and Exelon and Pepco have doubled and tripled their margins in the last 10, 12 years.
Yeah, I agree.
So,
I think some of these hedge fund managers are making a lot of money, but they're making money leveraging our policies, and that's what I'm trying to unwind.
and that's what we're doing with this bill. This is one step in unwinding that policy. Thank you.
Colleagues, I ask you to vote yay on this amendment. Just give them some flexibility. If you don't trust the PSC, let's get rid of them tomorrow.
Madam Speaker.
That's all I'm asking.
I'm sorry.
Recognizing the chair of the committee.
And sorry, colleague, I did not mean to interrupt you. I thought you were.
No.
On the amendment, Madam Speaker, I'm going to vote against this amendment. I'm just going to tell you why. As my predecessor used to say, rates are too high. As my colleague, the maker of the amendment, said, this amendment would have the reverse effect. Instead of lowering rates, it would allow more things to go into the rate base, including corporate jet travel, which this body decided last year we didn't want our ratepayers paying for. I don't want to pay for corporate jet travel in my Pepco bill. If the corporation wants to pay for that, they can do it out of their corporate profits. This amendment would allow that to be on the back of our ratepayers, and for that, I ask the body to reject the amendment. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
The question before the House is the adoption of the amendment. All in favor signify by saying aye. Oppose? No. The noes have it. The amendment fails. How many were up? I didn't see it. No problem. No problem. All right. The clerk will call the roll.
Madam Speaker?
We will get there. Has everyone recorded their vote? Make sure everyone records their vote. The clerk would take the call. There being 97 votes in the negative, the amendment fails. Are there any additional amendments to the bill to its title? Recognizing the gentleman from Anne Arundel County.
Thank you, Madam Speaker.
You're welcome.
I have an amendment at the desk, 863-261.
Amendment number 1.
Move so much be considered the reading of the amendment.
So order.
Thank you, Madam Speaker.
You're welcome. Thank you for being patient.
Yeah. This amendment simply removes from these guidelines the people that are on the front line of electrical gas system reliability, emergency response readiness, or storm restoration capabilities. The reason I put this in there is we do have hurricanes here sometimes, and we do have emergencies, and we need to bring people in that have to work and are specialists to getting the power back on and ensuring the grid reliability is there. Affordability is very, very important. Reliability is very, very important. We do not want to hamper or hamstring our ability to get power back on or to have people respond in a storm or whenever we have an emergency, God forbid. This just protects the grid. This protects the ratepayers we're all trying to protect. Once again, it just offers some flexibility in circumstances that may be unforeseen right now. It just says, if we need to respond quickly, We need to pay somebody a little more to respond and make sure the grid reliability is there. It gives the utilities that ability. Their job is to make sure when we hit the lights, they come on. We turn on the heat, it comes on. This is just a good amendment to make sure we can guarantee that to the people that voted us to be here. With that, I move the amendment.
Floor Leader.
Thank you, Madam Speaker.
You're welcome.
Again, I would ask the body to resist this amendment. For lack of a better way of saying it, the amendment kind of undoes everything that we're trying to do. And I think it's important to understand, too, that, again, these people can be paid more. It just has to come out of the stockholders. That's all it has to do. Again, I would ask the body to resist this amendment. Thank you.
Madam Speaker.
Recognizing the Minority Leader.
Thank you, Madam Speaker.
You're welcome.
The floor leader engaged me or indulged me for a moment. You mentioned with respect to this amendment, I think, saying it undoes everything we're trying to do, and what you had said previously was what you're trying to do is reduce the bills, which is an admirable concept, reduce people's monthly bills. These bills, and you know, in honor of our guest, the state's attorney from Carroll County, pretend that I'm just a poor country lawyer up here, and I don't really understand how any of this works. The bills, the rates that are set, the companies don't just set them unilaterally, right? They have to be approved by someone, correct?
Public Service Commission.
So the Public Service Commission, every bill that your constituents and my constituents and everyone in this room's constituents get didn't just come from the evil corporation. It was actually approved by the state of Maryland government through a vehicle called the Public Service Commission, correct?
Correct.
And who appointed all 5 members of the current Maryland Public Service Commission? Who gave them their jobs and their mandate to protect the people?
I don't know how that's relevant, but my understanding is that they're appointed by the governor, and I don't know
Right. My understanding
which
is, I just
governor
looked it up,
appointed
is
which
that,
members.
Well, I looked it up. Maybe I'm wrong. All 5 members of the Maryland Public Service Commission, including our former colleague, who I think was beloved. I don't know if I would say I beloved him, but I definitely beliked him. He's the chair of the Public Service Commission, and all 4 other members of the Public Service Commission were appointed by Governor Wes Moore. And the Public Service Commission, every bill that your constituents are getting or complaining about is based upon a rate that was approved by Governor Wes Moore's Public Service Commission. Is that correct?
Yeah, the Public Service Commission approves them. Yes, they review them.
Thank you.
Okay. So the question, does the delegate want to comment?
No, I just want to make sure we push the amendment.
Oh, I am. But I wanted to make sure I didn't miss anyone this time. The question before the House is the adoption of the amendment. All in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, no? The clerk will call the roll.
Madam Speaker?
Has everyone recorded their vote? All right. The clerk will take the call. There being 97 votes in the negative, the amendment fails. Are there any additional amendments to the bill to its title?
Madam Speaker.
Recognizing the delegate from Baltimore County.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Could the floor leader rise? I have a couple questions for purposes of a possible amendment. So I'm reading page 4 of the bill, and it talks about line 4, entertainment events. So what do you mean by that? How is the bill opining on that? Is it this saying that BGE and at Pepco cannot have a suite at the Ravens Stadium, the O's, the Commanders?
It's just saying that the ratepayer is not going to pay for it.
Okay.
Again, with those corporate profits, they got plenty of money to pay for that themselves.
Sure. Does this governor have a box at the Ravens Stadium?
I don't know how that's relevant to this bill in any way whatsoever.
Ratepayers, taxpayers, we're all paying a lot.
But
So
we're talking about ratepayers here,
Sure,
delegate.
but
We're
I'm
not
asking
talking about taxpayers.
about the line of reasoning here in your bill, which, look, you know, the biggest complaint I'm getting as well is utility bills. Our local grocery store sent us their latest bill, $39,652 for our local family-owned grocery store. So yes, we need to lower them, but I'm just wondering if the reasoning is that these should not be paid for by ratepayers, should potentially we say that the governor shouldn't have these to be paid for by taxpayers?
Recognizing the chair of the committee.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. So, Delegate,
welcome.
we special ordered the bill previously as a courtesy for folks to get amendments. We're not going to honor another special order, so it's frankly too late for amendments. We can have a very vigorous third reader debate, and of course, when this bill goes across the hall, we can talk to our Senate colleagues about your potential idea, but we can't do an amendment because the opportunity to request an amendment has passed.
Okay.
So we should discuss this in third reader.
Okay, because I was told that you were going to special order it today. So if that's the case, then I'd like to ask a few more questions.
So, Delegate, again, and I apologize if there was miscommunication. We were trying to do that to accommodate some committees that were going to have briefings this morning. And if the Speaker permits it, I'm happy to still do that. But it seemed like the debate was wrapping up, so that's why I did not special order the bill to accommodate those committee schedules.
Okay,
But
and that's hence why I got up to ask some questions, because I thought I would have
since
another
there was
day.
that miscommunication, and I want to be courteous to my colleagues, I'll move to special order this bill to the appropriate time tomorrow for purposes of potential amendment.
That would be great.
Okay.
Thank you.
Very kind. Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Giving grace, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. It's important. So the question before the House is to special order House Bill 1. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, say no. The ayes have it. House Bill 1 has been special order until the appropriate time. And are there any other amendments to the bill to its title? All right. So thank you for the special order. That ends the work at the desk. We're now going to do committee announcements. We're going to start with appropriations.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. The full committee will not meet. Listen for subcommittee announcements.
Economic matters.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Economic Matters will have a briefing immediately following floor, and we have 1 p.m. bill hearings.
Environment and transportation.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. The Environment and Transportation Committee will meet right after floor in the Joint Committee Room for a joint hearing with the Health Committee.
Government, labor, and elections.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. GLE will meet at 1 p.m. for a briefing, followed by bill hearings at 2.
Health.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. The Health Committee will be meeting in the joint hearing room for a briefing with the Environment Transportation Committee immediately after floor, and we will have bill hearings starting at 1 p.m.
Judiciary.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. The Judiciary Committee will be meeting at 1 p.m. for bill hearings.
Ways and Means.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. The
You're
Ways
welcome.
and Means Committee will meet at 1 p.m. for a briefing on child care and the Child Care Scholarship Program. Thank you.
You're welcome. Subcommittee announcements. Recognizing the gentleman from Frederick County.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. The Election Law Subcommittee of Government, Labor, and Elections will be meeting at noon today virtually.
Thank you. Recognizing the delegate from Howard County.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. The Transportation and Environment Subcommittee will be meeting at 1 p.m. today for budget hearings in room 150.
Recognizing the delegate from Baltimore City.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. The Housing and Real Property Subcommittee will meet for organizational meeting at 4 p.m. today via Zoom. The information should be in your email.
Thank you. Recognizing the delegate from Montgomery County.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. The Health and Social Services Subcommittee on Appropriations will be meeting at 1 p.m. for our first budget hearings in the joint hearing room, because we're fancy. Thank you.
Recognizing the delegate from Baltimore County.
Thank you, Madam Speaker.
You're welcome.
I was on my tiptoes that time. I'm a day early, but it's our first K-12 Education Subcommittee. Ways and Means will meet tomorrow after session. Time will be more specific tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you. Recognizing the delegate from Baltimore City.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. The Education and Economic Development Subcommittee of Appropriations will be meeting at 1 p.m. in the Appropriations Hearing Room for budget hearings.
Thank you. And thank you all for the work. I know that it feels like March. There's 69 days left. Okay, so thank you very much for all your efforts. We're going to go on now to delegation announcements. See no delegation announcement. Caucus announcements. Recognizing the chair of the Women's Caucus.
Thank you so much, Madam Speaker. Tomorrow morning, in person, we will have our first Women's Caucus breakfast and meeting, room 150 at 8 a.m. Looking forward to seeing the members of the Women's Caucus. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other caucus announcement? Recognizing the delegate from the Vampire Caucus.
Thank you very much. And just a reminder that the Bloodmobile is out there right on, you'll see it when you walk back to the house. And you do not need to have an appointment. You can just drop in. It doesn't take very long. I want to also acknowledge the people from Luminous who helped us put this together. Luminous runs Anne Arundel Hospital and Doctors Hospital in Prince George's County, and they are the people who are staffing this whole blood drive with us. Luminous, Matthew Lubman and Peyton Harris are administrative fellows with Luminous Health. Davon Percy is the vice president of Luminous Health. Matthew and Peyton coordinated the Vampire Caucus blood drive on behalf of Luminous this year. They are in the gallery, and I would like to acknowledge them for their hard work. And also, if I could just,
She's not done yet. 1 minute.
I have one more thing to say about the blood drive, because I was there this morning and I found out that since last year there have been a couple of changes in who is allowed to give blood, and so they raised the age to 79, so more people will be able to do that. Also, for cancer survivors who have been clear for 3 years are now allowed to give blood. Last year it was more than 5 years. So I think that might be good information that people who might want to give now will have confidence to be able to go and present themselves at the Bloodmobile today. I want to thank everybody for participating, and I'd like to encourage you to encourage your staff, any lobbyists you meet, anybody that's here for the day, to take advantage of this opportunity to save some lives. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Recognizing the delegate from Anne Arundel.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I
welcome.
do have a Chinese proverb. It says,
We have many of them today on the floor.
Yes, Madam Speaker. The best time to give blood is today. I would like to highlight, Madam Speaker, that
yes,
as of right now, there is way too much red blood that's been given into the blood van. We'd like to get some blue blood into that van this morning. So if anybody is giving blood this morning, if you could please raise your arm, I would love to see the people that have given blood this morning. And I want to highlight my intern who gave blood for the very first time this morning. He's 22 years old. He is a cancer survivor. He is a next-gen student at University of Baltimore. Anthony gave blood this morning, his very first time. Thank you, Madam Speaker. The Vampire Caucus is out.
So please give blood, okay? We need the blue color, all right? Recognizing the delegate and chair of the Black Caucus.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. This is our final reminder. Tomorrow morning, 8 a.m., the Governor's Mansion, Legislative Black Caucus, breakfast with the Governor. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
You're welcome. Any other caucus announcements? Seeing none, we're going to go to the Black History Moment. And this, today, it's going to be given by the wonderful delegate from the beautiful city of Baltimore.
Thank you, Madam Speaker.
You're welcome.
So I'm going to talk about someone that might be known to a few. His name is Grandison Ho. He was a free black man who owned a farm in antebellum North Baltimore in an area known as Ho's Hill. The earliest public records of this land ownership are an 1857 map of Hamden and surrounding communities. By the 1860 census, Grandison was 40 years old and lived with his wife Lucy and their 5 children. Now, the land at that time was valued at $3,600 in 1860, and they had a modest home worth $200. It is unclear and a bit murky how Mr. Grandison Ho obtained the deed to this valuable land, but there were subsequent efforts to compel him to sell. In fact, Hiram Woods, who was a sugar refining magnate, had actually asked him on several occasions to purchase his land. And he also offered not only to purchase his land for more than it was worth, He offered to actually relocate his entire family to the then African American village of Cross Keys. He even offered Mr. Ho to move his family burial ground. That's how bad he wanted Ho's Hill. As an aside, the 18th century Cross Keys settlement, this old African American settlement, met its ultimate end during the redevelopment of Baltimore Polytechnic High School and Western High Schools. The modern village of Cross Keys was developed nearby and is currently a thriving mix of commercial and residential properties. The Ho family rejected the offer, and Woods' land became a part of what we all know as the Roland Park community. As the Ho family grew older and needed more living quarters, his two sons, William and Richard, built their own houses adjacent to their father's. And relatives, possibly from Charles County, joined them on the farm as well. As the 20th century approached, the occupants of what was now being called Ho's Heights were shifting from domestic work to, they were shifting from farm work to domestic work as they earned livings in Roland Park and the nearby exclusive neighborhoods. During the Great Depression, the harsh economic circumstances forced the Ho family to sell portions of their land in order to settle some delinquent tax bills. As a result, several blocks of brick row houses were built on the 43rd and 42nd Streets and on Evans Chapel and Providence Roads. And most of those homes were built in the 1930s and the 1940s. And approximately 70 homes were built, and almost all of them were sold to African American GIs that were returning from World War II. In the 1920s, James Trotman moved to Baltimore from Norfolk, Virginia, to escape workplace discrimination at the Postal Service. By 1930, James was living with his wife Lillian and worked in the automotive sales industry as a wage-earning laborer and his wife as a domestic. By 1940, James and Lillian were homeowners on Evans Chapel Road in the Ho's Heights neighborhood. James was working long hours as a private chauffeur at this point, and his wife as a domestic worker. They raised 2 daughters, and they even had a lodger at that time from Yugoslavia. Now, Ho's Heights was a refuge and a launch pad to economic stability for generations of Black Baltimoreans. And if Grandison Ho had sold his land to Hiram Woods, there would be no Ho's Hill. And if his family had not resisted further attempts to take their land or to purchase their land, there would not have been that enduring community. And even if they had not, under great distress, had to sell parts of their land during the Great Depression, there would not have been those row homes that became the refuge for returning GIs, and also the home that would later be purchased by my first known relative in Baltimore City, James Trotman. And that helped to reserve the economic fortunes of his family, and as I would say, my family as well. Today, Ho's Heights is an architecturally diverse community consisting of 19th century style houses, turn of the century single family homes, and brick row homes like the Trotmans moved and purchased. Several generations of residents call Ho's Heights home, and the enduring legacy of community uplift and service continues until this day. Black land ownership has always been one of the most fraught journeys in the Black American experience. Ho's Heights is a testament to the resilience and the endurance of a community still bonded by the vision of Grandison Ho to create a legacy for future generations. And this is today's Black History Moment.
Thank you. We are now going on to personal or guest announcements, recognizing the wonderful gentleman from Cecil County.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I wanted to share with you a story of a young man who came up in a little town called Northeast Maryland in Cecil County. He went on to become a simple country lawyer and a member of the House of Delegates and eventually a state's attorney. If you could please give a warm welcome to Delegate Haven Shoemaker.
Welcome, Delegate. All right, any other? I'm going to recognize the gentleman from Montgomery County.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I just want to welcome the Maryland Psychological Association, which is here today for their Advocacy Day, and a very special welcome to my District 17 constituent, longtime friend and neighbor, Dr. Julie Bindeman-Belgard, who is here in the gallery today.
Recognizing the gentleman from Howard County.
Good morning, colleagues.
morning.
Howard County schools are closed today, which translates to bring your child to work day. So please join me in welcoming my son, Maximilian Ezra Moreno.
I love your name, Maximilian. Recognizing the young lady from Baltimore City.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Colleagues, please join me in welcoming the doctor of the day, who happens to be from the Fighting 46th District. Dr. Erin Morey is a rheumatologist, which means that she spent a lot of years in school. Not just college, 4 years of college, not just 4 years of medical school, not just residency in internal medicine probably, and then followed by a 2-year specialty in rheumatology. So for those of you who don't know how doctors get trained, just a little reminder. Dr. Morey founded the Mid-Atlantic Rheumatology Center in Millersville, but she lives in District 46. Please join me. May I have permission to use the delegates' names?
Permission granted.
Thank you, Madam Speaker.
You're welcome.
Please join myself, Delegate Klippinger, and Delegate Edelson in welcoming Dr. Erin Morey.
Recognizing the very patient delegate from Carroll County.
Thank you, Madam Speaker.
You're welcome.
Also down here with State's Attorney Haven Shoemaker from our State's Attorney's Office, longtime prosecutor for over 20 years, Haven's Special Counsel, Alan Culver from Carroll County.
Recognizing the delegate from Baltimore City.
Thank you, Madam Speaker.
You're welcome.
Colleagues, please help me welcome my Chief of Staff and his son, Chief of Staff Kareem Amin, and his son Kareem Jr. Kareem Jr. attends one of our phenomenal schools in District 41, the Mount Washington School, and he has an interest in politics.
Welcome. Recognizing the young lady from Prince George's County. Prince George's County.
Thank you, Madam
You're
Speaker. Today, I'm excited to introduce my legislative intern for this session, Kaylee Mendoza-Diaz. Kaylee is a Maryland native, born and raised in Prince George's County, and a proud resident of District 25. She is currently a senior at the University of Maryland, majoring in public policy, and is already in her second semester of UMD's Public Policy Master's Program. Kaylee has also received a strong endorsement from, permission to use the delegate's name?
Permission granted.
Delegate Ann Kaiser, which speaks volumes about her work ethic, leadership, and promise in public service. Kaylee brings a strong academic foundation, a deep connection to our community, and a clear commitment to service. I'm grateful to have her on the team this session as we continue working for the residents of Maryland. Please welcome Kaylee Mendoza-Diaz. She should be stand up. Oh, there she is. There she goes.
Recognizing the delegate from Baltimore County.
Thank you, Madam Speaker.
You're welcome.
In the guest gallery up here, we have a special guest, Angel Deddy. I don't know where she's at. She's probably behind me. Anyway, she's from the 6th Legislative District. We want to thank her for making the trip down here. Thank you.
Right behind you. Welcome. Any other guest or personal announcement? Recognizing the lady from Montgomery County.
Thank you, Madam Speaker.
You're welcome.
Just want to announce, I believe Morgan State University is here today over at the Senate, so please stop by and visit them.
Thank you. Any other personal guest announcements? All right, seeing none. Before we get to quorum call, I want to remind everyone that all bills need to be in the clerk's office by Thursday, February 12th, by 5 p.m. Okay, not yet. We're starting early. Or you know what happens? They end up in rules, and it will be tough to get them out, okay? Unless you give blood. Quorum call?
Madam Speaker?
Has everyone recorded their presence? The clerk will take the call. There being 138 members present, the House is still in session, recognizing the majority leader.
Thank you, Madam Speaker.
You're
I
welcome.
move that the House stands adjourned until Thursday, the 5th at 10 o'clock a.m.
Have a productive day, everyone.